Welcome back to The Fight. Joining us is one of the world's foremost authorities on hip and knee replacements, a 1976 graduate of the university and one of our great Rockne Athletic Fund donors, Dr. John Callaghan. John, welcome to The Fight.
Hey, thanks a lot, Malik. I just had to show you this sweatshirt first. This is my COVID quarantine shirt that I won off of Vic because I beat him on Vic's pick a few weeks back. So it's my prized possession for sure.
Vic's been catching a lot of flack on the show so far, Vic.
He can handle it.
That's awesome. Well, John, you and your wife, Kim, are proud parents of two Notre Dame alums, Patrick and Katie. What can you tell us about your special kids?
Yeah, they're really special. You know, it's kind of an amazing story because neither of them were going to come to Notre Dame. My daughter was born at Duke, and my son was always going to play tennis in the Southern California. And then my wife Kim couldn't come to the game, but I brought him to the Bush Push. And after the Bush Push, it converted them to Notre Dame forever. And my son came here in 2006, played tennis, and then my daughter joined here in 2008, and they graduated in 2010, 2012. So they had a great experience here, just like I had about 30 years before. So we have nothing but great things to say about the university. It's kind of interesting because for 25 years, I didn't engage quite as much, but then when my kids came back here, we fully engaged. In fact, part of our quarantine has been here in South Bend because my daughter's actually a family medicine doctor here at Memorial Hospital. So,
well, look how full circle that comes around. And speaking about 30 years ago, we often ask people to give us their Notre Dame introduction. Where did you live? What was your major? And what do you look back on those 4 years while here at the university?
Sure. So I was a 76 graduate, which is a tremendous year because Jack Swarbrick and John Jenkins are from our same class. But more importantly, for all of you who saw that Clemson game, we had some great games in our time. You know, in 73, we won the national championship. I was down at the Sugar Bowl for that one. And then in basketball, we broke the UCLA streak of 81 games. And so we had a lot of great experiences. And definitely the education I got here in undergraduate really catapulted me for a successful career. I'm actually an orthopedic surgeon, but as you said, Malik, I also had took a number of engineering courses while I was here, and when I went on to be an orthopedic surgeon, I started developing hip and knee implants. So a lot of people out there who have a hip and knee implant, I may have been part of designing that for you. So very successful that way.
That's awesome to hear, man, especially at the fact that you're setting the way for something that you can leave after you're gone, which is very incredible. And also speaking on that, you and Kim have been very generous to the university. And why do you feel like it's so important to give back specifically to the Rockne Fund, the Rockne Athletic Funds, which is what it's about Notre Dame continually motivated you to give back?
Well, you heard it tonight, Malik. You had the experience similar to my son, that it was more than just playing tennis in the YAC. You know, it's what the coaches do to mentor you in your life. My son left here after playing tennis at Notre Dame and having an undergraduate degree in political science, and went on to law school. And the only reason he got into law school where he did and when he did was really because coaches like Ryan, who you heard from before, and Coach Bayless before them were very complimentary to him. And it was really something that he'll always remember, we'll always remember. And once again, the same thing for my daughter 2 years later, who the interesting thing when you have two kids here, I can tell you, is they can go different routes. My daughter was a theology major, decided to go into medicine. My son had nothing to do with medicine and went the other route, but every Sunday night they would get together and spend Sunday night together. And I think that relationship started us going. But back to your point, Malika, I think it is really important for everybody to know, you know, Jack Swarbrick and the athletic department, sometimes you think that they're not under the same budgets as the rest of the university, but that's not true at all. And that's why when we endow coaches, that helps with the with Jack with the budgeting of tennis. And right now, the other thing that we're doing, not only in tennis, but you'll see at both at our university and across the country, that people are endowing the scholarships for the student athletes. And that's the other thing I would say is, it's amazing that our culture is that there's student athletes. I actually worked at a few other universities, and you always talk about the athletes this and the athletes that, but you'll never hear that at Notre Dame. It's always a student athlete, and we feel very strongly. I know you know this, Malik, but it's something that's really real to our culture. It's not something that we just talk about, but I think it's because of that why in athletics it's so important, and many of us give. And it's not just for football; it's actually more so for the Olympic non-revenue sports that are important. Those of you who keep up with it probably know that actually Stanford, a number of places, including University of Iowa, where I was at, are now getting rid of their non-revenue generating Olympic sports. I think Stanford might be getting rid of about 20 of them, and that's one thing we're trying not to do here. And Jack has a great program for us all to do it, and part of the things you're doing tonight help toward that program that is very important to keep all these other sports. I mean, we love football, we love basketball here, but the other sports are just as important, and I think definitely part of the culture of the university.
Well, John, we want to thank you on behalf of the university and the Rockne Athletics Fund for this incredible gift, because we all work hard together to ensure that the experience of our 700-plus student athletes, like you said, all play a part. It's not just football, it's not just basketball. Everybody's included in this, and your contributions is so thanked by us, and especially me and everybody involved, and we appreciate you so much.
And Malik, the one thing I tell you is we appreciate people like you to see you on the field, but then to see you come back and have successful careers afterwards, like the rest of us have. And I think that's what Notre Dame's all about. So
That's
thank you.
Exactly right. Thank you so much for joining us to fight. And